from our community. So we got to kind of tell our love teaching ooey gooey stories. But another way to think about it is really the relationships that we build, right? That we nurture, because when you love something, you got to feed it. And so here is a question from Phil, who asks, I have a colleague who has a lot on her plate, and I have the bandwidth to help carry some of that load and want to try to help. Where do I begin? I don't know. What do you think about that one?
First off, I just have to commend Phil, because for him or her to realize that somebody has so much on their plate and that they can take some of that burden and some of that load off, that is very commendable. And I also have to wonder if this is my friend sending in a question, because she's always asking, what can I do? What can I do? And it just kind of makes me think, a few years ago, our district offered a grief training, which I was very fortunate to take part in. And one of the things they said was, when someone is going through trauma or a grief experience, to not say, if you need anything, just let me know, because they're never going to let you know. That's and right. Be specific, and I'm going to do this for you. When would you like me to do that? And so that question, the very first thing I thought of was that grief training. And when my friend is pretty affirmative, I'm going to take care of this for you, then I let her. But it's just kind of, I feel like it's my responsibility. I need to take care of it. I don't want to push it off onto her. So when she asks me if there's something she can do, I very seldom give her something, but when she just kind of takes charge and does it, I let her help me.
Yeah, I love that. And I think you are absolutely right. I mean, how often does it happen that,
Yes.
that I help and we say, oh, it'll be fine. Because we all kind of have this martyr syndrome, right?
Yes.
But I think you're right. And when I was thinking about this question, I was also thinking about asking for help. So I love the way that you kind of frame this in terms of, thinking about offering the help, which is what Phil asked. But I was also thinking about how it's not a sign of weakness to ask for help, even though it's really hard for us to do that. And so to think about, maybe some of the way that we can begin is by figuring out how to let go just a bit, how to, turn to somebody and say, hey, I don't have to do all of these committees, because here's the thing that I found, and I was not good at this early in my career. So this is something I've had to learn, the hard way. But I understand what happens to a whole system, to a whole school, to a whole department, a grade level, when we elevate the people around us,
yes.
Right? So sometimes I think we get into this overcommitted space because we kind of think we're the one to do it. We're the one to do it. And maybe we are right then, but somebody else can grow into it. And just because the person across the hall might not quite be ready for it, it doesn't mean they can't grow into it. And so I think that's really an important way for us to think about continuing to, to elevate our colleagues and to elevate the people around us.
I agree. I love that grow into it phrase, because there's so many times that we feel like veteran teachers have to take on those things, but we need to give those early professionals time to grow into it. And with our support, that's going to take things off of our plate and help them grow as well. So,
and that's what we would do for our students. I mean, we wouldn't say to our students, hey, come do what you can already do over and over and over again. I mean, we would say, hey, here's a little growing space. Let's see what you can do. And I think maybe if we carry some of that mentality into our collegial relationships as well, I think that that's really important. But I also have to say, you are exactly right. I've had to have, my best colleague friends just put their foot down and say, no, I'm going to do this for you. I will be there at 4:00.
Yeah. It's something I definitely need to be better at. So I'm going to be more